She choked to death on a ham sandwich. That was the story the world heard when Cass Elliot was found dead in her London apartment. A crude joke that spread like wildfire, reducing one of music's greatest voices to a punchline. But it was a lie. The truth, it was far more tragic, and it had been set in motion long before that night. She was the heart of the mamas and the papas, a woman whose voice defined a generation. But behind a dazzling smile was a lifetime of betrayal, industry cruelty, and self-destruction. Her closest friends used her, mocked her, and broke her heart. The man she loved never loved her back. And in the end, her fight to be accepted cost her everything. Days later, she was dead. So why did the world believe the lie, and what really happened to Cass Elliot? Born Ellen Naomi Cohen in Baltimore, Maryland in 1941, Cass was the daughter of Russian Jewish immigrants. She was smart, ambitious, and fiercely talented. But from an early age, the world saw only one thing: her size. In high school, Cass found refuge in music and theater. But as her talent grew, so did the whispers. She's too big for Hollywood, too big for Broadway. So she created a new persona, Cass Elliot, a name that would give her the confidence to chase fame. She dropped out of school and moved to New York, dreaming of Broadway stardom. But it was a cruel business. When she lost her role to a then unknown Barbara Streisand, Cass pivoted to music. It was a choice that would change her life forever. Between 1962 and 1964, Cass fronted two bands, the Big Three and the Mugwumps. It was during this time that she met Denny Doherty, the man she would love more than anyone. But that love would never be returned. Instead of Doherty, Cass married bandmate James Hendricks in 1963, a purely strategic marriage to help him avoid the military draft. But the union couldn't keep the Mugwumps together. Within months, the band dissolved, leaving Cass adrift. Doherty, rather than staying with her, joined the New Journeymen, a folk group led by John and Michelle Phillips. Cass was desperate to join, but John Phillips had other plans. He didn't think Cass belonged in the band. He claimed her voice was too deep, but the real reason? He thought she was too overweight. Cass fought back, following the band to the Virgin Islands, hoping to prove herself. They let her rehearse but refused to let her perform. The humiliation was unbearable. But then, fate intervened. When the New Journeymen returned to the US, they were broke. Cass made an offer: let her join the band or sleep on the streets. John Phillips finally caved. And just like that, the Mamas and the Papas were born. Cass was the secret weapon of the group, her powerhouse voice turning them into superstars. Monday, Monday, California Dreaming, their hits topped the charts. But fame didn't bring her peace. If anything, it made things worse. Fame gave Cass everything she had ever wanted: adoration, success, and a seat at the table with music's biggest legends. But it also put a magnifying glass on her deepest insecurities. She wasn't just famous, she was the joke, the fat one, the outsider in a group she helped define. It wasn't just cruel comments from outsiders. Even those closest to her fed the narrative. Cass became trapped in a role she couldn't escape, the lovable but lonely punchline. John and Michelle Phillips, along with Doherty, mocked her weight behind her back, and even in their songs. In Creek Alley, they sang, "No one's getting fat except Mama Cass."
And no one's getting fat except Mama Cass.
The nickname stuck, and it stung. But her greatest heartbreak wasn't the bullying, it was Denny Doherty. Cass loved him deeply, but while she pined for him, he was secretly having an affair with Michelle Phillips. Cass, devastated, confronted Michelle. "You can have any man in the world. Why take the one man I love?" Michelle had no answer. The betrayal was too much to bear. Cass had been fighting a battle against the world her entire life. But this was a betrayal from the one place she thought was safe. It wasn't just about love, it was about belonging. Every cruel joke, every rejection, every snub in the industry had made her feel like she wasn't enough. And now, even in the closest circle she had, she was still on the outside looking in. It sent her spiraling further into self-destruction. She drowned her pain in music and excess. Her Hollywood parties became legendary, but some of her guests were more sinister. It's rumored that Charles Manson and his followers attended at least one of her gatherings. After the Manson family's crimes, John Phillips even blamed Cass for introducing Manson to their circle, a claim that would haunt her reputation, even though there was no evidence. Eventually, Cass left the Mamas and the Papas, launching a solo career. But the industry's obsession with weight drove her to drastic measures. She went on an extreme diet, fasting 4 days a week for months. The results were dangerous. By the time she debuted in Las Vegas, she was sick, tonsillitis, hemorrhaging vocal cords, mononucleosis. She took the stage, but her voice was barely audible. The audience walked out. Newsweek called it a disaster akin to the Titanic. The humiliation was too much. Cass wasn't just fighting her body. She was fighting an industry that never made space for her. Hollywood had no mercy, and the pressures to conform the impossible beauty standards slowly chipped away at her health. She had finally lost weight, but at what cost? But through it all, one thing mattered most: her daughter, Owen. Cass never revealed the father's identity. Even her closest friends didn't know. But Michelle Phillips later claimed to have uncovered the truth. Owen's father was a powerful married man. His identity remains a mystery to this day. Then, in 1974, Cass gave what would be her final performance. 4 days later, she was gone. The official cause? Heart failure. Years of yo-yo dieting had wreaked havoc on her body. She was only 32. But the myths didn't stop. The tabloids spread the cruel and false rumor that she had choked to death on a ham sandwich. It was a final insult to a woman who had fought so hard for respect. Cass Elliot was more than Mama Cass. She was a trailblazer, a woman who defied expectations, shattered barriers, and left behind a legacy that still echoes today.